Right guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're just going to quickly talk on this, which is more to do with the Scottish Championship. Who's going to get promoted, who's going to get relegated, which is kind of a new thing on the YouTube channel. You do know that. It's for you all to enjoy and to really stay tuned. So, who will be promoted, who will be relegated? Well, looking at this table, you've got Dundee at the top at the moment, but there is still games to be played. And looking at results for yesterday and Friday night, obviously this one, Scott Brown's Ayr United doing well, and on loan Hibster scoring the goal for Ayr Geonians. Partick Thistle winning 1-0 after Inverness got to 10 men, which was actually, to me, not really a red card. Now, it's been quite a challenging league, the Scottish Championship, lately. Greenock Morton, Queen's Park. And obviously, this was I feel like Wraith Rovers were robbed in this game, because that's Jim Goodwin for you. Tony Lewis Malt, he's past his career, honestly. He's too old. He's shit. And then obviously Dunfermline winning again. Now look, who do I think's going to win the Scottish Championship or CINCH Championship? Look, I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be Wraith Rovers. Reason I say that it's going to be Wraith Rovers is because, well, look at their squad. Yeah, they've had their ups and downs, they've had their errors, they've had mistakes, they've had everything you can think of. Wraith Rovers are a really good side. Brilliant stadium. Yes, they still have a old stand that's got wooden seats, but it's still a good arena. It's a really good stadium, Starks Park. Haven't been in ages, but it is a good stadium. But Wraith Rovers have came close. They've bet Dundee United home and away. They've caused problems for the league leaders, Dundee United. They've been a very challenging opposition for Dundee United, apart from yesterday, but that's because Wraith Rovers had a few of their good players out injured. So that can happen, but I think Wraith Rovers will have a full squad before the season's over, and I think Wraith Rovers will win the Scottish Championship, it's honest. Ex-Hibs player that used to play for Hibs, Ian Murray, really good Hibs player, and then there's a few ex-Hibbies still in that Wraith Rovers squad. Kevin Dabrowski and Sam Stanton, really good players. They were good players for Hibs back in the day. Look, my opinion, right, Wraith Rovers have came a long way. Yeah, they've been in the Championship for a good few years now, and I think if they work as a really good squad, they're going to come up. If they keep their hope together. And the reason I brought out that match reaction was it's not over yet, is because it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Wraith Rovers have still got really good games, and we'll take a look at who they've got. Wraith Rovers, April. So their last remaining games. Their last remaining games will go into. We'll start off with Saturday the 6th of April. You've got Ayr United, and next week, the weekend just coming up. So Ayr United have had troubles trying to beat Ayr United, and obviously Ayr Geonians are like Wraith Rovers' bogey team now. They can't beat Ayr Geonians for some reason. Wraith Rovers v Partick Thistle been a really good side to play against. Inverness Cali Thistle have actually demolished Wraith Rovers, don't get me wrong, I remember that. And obviously Greenock Morton v Wraith Rovers, really good teams that you can actually beat. Arbroath, who thrashed Wraith Rovers as well this season, so it's like you really want to win these games to get to the top of the league. Dundee United, who they got just as I'm looking, April. Queen's Park. They're a good side. Callum Davidson's doing well at Hampden. Greenock Morton have actually bet Dundee United home and away, and so's Dunfermline. Dunfermline have bet Dundee United, so there's a lot of teams causing trouble for Dundee United. So Airdrieonians have actually bet Dundee United. I remember that game where Dundee United went down to 10 men and then Airdrieonians won. So there's a lot to talk about. Seriously amount to talk about. For perfection. So I think it's actually good. And guys, before this video continues, make sure you like, subscribe, enable notifications so that you don't miss out. So, because you don't want to miss out on any YouTube videos that I upload. And it has been a busy day. Obviously, I just want to read this out about Wraith Rovers. Wraith Rovers are a team based in, well, Starks Park. We do know that. Starks Park, Kirkcaldy, their rivals are Dunfermline. And I just want to check this out actually while I'm here. Let's see, so we'll do when did Wraith Rovers get, because I actually forgot actually, so when did Wraith Rovers so yeah, Premiership, right, there we go, that's a bit better. Right, so Wraith Rovers Football Club is a Scottish professional football club based in the town of Kirkcaldy, Fife. The club was founded in 1883 and is currently competes in the Scottish Championship as a member of the Scottish Professional Football League. The club has won 4 national trophies in 1994, the Scottish League Cup and the 2013-14 and 2019-20 and 2021-22 editions of the Scottish Challenge Cup, and were runners-up in the 1949 Scottish League Cup and 1913 Scottish Cup. They have won the second tier of the Scottish football 6 times, been runners-up for 4 times, and reached its highest ever league finish in 1922, third in the Division 1. As it continues, the club has won 4 national trophies. I've read that. As a result of winning the League Cup in 1994, Wraith Rovers qualified for the European football for the first time, entering the UEFA Cup following season. The club managed to reach the second round only to be defeated 4-1 on aggregate by an eventual champions Bayern Munich. Wraith Rovers' home ground is Starks Park, an 8,867 all-seater stadium in the south of Kirkcaldy, Fife, as we would say. The club has been based at the ground since 1891. Holy crap. Right. So yeah, Wraith Rovers. Nickname, the Rovers. Full name, Wraith Rovers Football Club. Ground, Starks Park, Kirkcaldy. Capacity, 8,867. Chairman, Stephen MacDonald. Manager, Ian Murray. League Championship 2023-22, 7th of 10th. Well, they're actually second, but anyway, this is old. I'm pretty sure that Wraith Rovers used to be in the... here we go. A disastrous season came in 1962-3 season when the club finished bottom of the first division, conceding 118 goals. In 34 games after leaving Queen of the South, George Farm became Raith Rovers manager. In 1964, Farm took Raith Rovers to promotion in 1966-67 before leaving for Fife rivals Dunfermline Athletic. Was never able to repeat the formula when he returned in the season of 1971-72. Raith Rovers managed to avoid relegation in the 1976... Sorry, 1967-68, thanks to striker Gordon Wallace, who became the first player out with the old firm to be voted SFWA Footballer of the Year. He scored 27 goals in 34 matches. However, the club did find themselves being relegated again at the end of the 1969-70 season. Nonetheless, the Rovers during this time managed to get through to the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup for the second year running between 1970-71 and 71-72 season. Altogether, although, pardon me, my spelling's a bit terrible at the minute, the latter saw them beaten 3-1 by Kilmarnock with a crowd of 10,815. Would you believe it? In the 1975-76 season, the league setup changed from Divisions 1 and 2 and 3 tier system, Premiership Division, Division 1, Division 2, and an arguable year of this system. Raith were promoted to the First Division, but were promotedly relegated the next season before bouncing back up the season after. Raith then performed responsibly well in the First Division, hovering around the, well, as you would call it, the top four until the early 1980s. A new manager, Frank Connor, took charge in early 1986. I wasn't even about by then, bringing many new faces onto the team, which resulted in promotion on goal difference after a 4-1 win against Stranraer, while Ayr United lost to Stirling Albion on the last day of the season. The League Cup winning era. Raith reverted to being a full-time side again for the season of 1991-92, which was soon followed by winning the First Division title in the season of 1992-93. This was the start of the most successful period in the club's history, which saw the team's first foray into Scottish Premiership Division, now the Premiership. On the 27th of December 1994, Raith Rovers manager Jimmy Nicholl surprisingly bet Celtic 6-5 on penalties to win the Coca-Cola Cup after a 2-2 draw. Future Raith Rovers manager Gordon scored an equalising goal for Raith in the dying minutes of relegation time, and the same season Raith were again promoted to the Premier Division, which the First Division title, or should I say winning the First Division title. As a result, the Cup win, Raith Rovers qualified for Europe UEFA Cup for the first time in their history after eliminating both Faroese and Icelandic champions, I can't pronounce their names, respectively. In the first two rounds, the club finally succumbed to eventual UEFA Cup winners Bayern Munich. They were beaten 2-0 by the German side on the first leg, which was not played at their home ground but at Easter Road, the home of Hibernian, in the second leg at the Olympitation. They led 1-0 at half-time against the odds, eventually losing 2-1. This was the first time in Scottish football a team had qualified for a major European competition while playing outside of the top league. The same season, Raith finished 6th in the Premier League, winning the Coca-Cola Cup again, so that's actually quite good. The end of a fairy tale. After the club were relegated from the Premiership Division, they also struggled to succeed the First Division for the 2001-02 season. They were relegated to the second division for the first time since 1987. The club returned to the first division with the lowest winning total to date for the championship of 59 points under the leadership of Antonio Calderon in 2002-03 season. At the start of the 2004-05 season, Claude, brother of French striker Nicolas, offered 300,000 to any team who would offer him manager's job, and was subsequently appointed the manager of Raith Rovers, with Antonio Calderon refusing the offer of a coaching role and leaving the club. Anelketa signed a team of mostly continental players from the lower leagues in France. A disastrous season followed despite the manager resigning halfway through the season, replaced by Gordon, and his signings either leaving or having their contracts terminated, and Raith were relegated to the second tier division after finishing bottom of the first division with just 16 points in the season. Local takeover in 2005-06 season. The future of the club looked doubtful after the club, its traditional home Starts Park, were both placed under threat by previous owners Colin McGowan and Alex Short. The Glasgow-based property developers had repeatedly threatened to sell Starts Park for housing and bid to find a buyer for their 50% stake in the club, and after months of legal and financial, a deal was struck with their company Western City Development. The former chairman Turnbull Hutton and director Mario, who were part of West City's, retained their further investment and were joined by a major investor, John Sim, a Thailand-based senior financial figure, liquidator KPMG. So there you go. It's what happened there actually. Right. So we're doing alright. Now we move on to the fun part of the vlog, which is who will get relegated for the Scottish Championship. Right, so let's look at the table. Right, so you've got Inverness, who are in 9th. Arbroath, who are rock bottom. So it is officially confirmed by the looks of it, by points in the bottom two. Queen's Park are still in the relegation zone. It's very tight. But I'm going to say that Arbroath will be automatically relegated, and it'll be between Inverness and Queen's Park, who will be in the relegation playoffs spot. Basically, who will be in the relegation spot. Inverness have been poor ever since they got relegated for the Scottish Premiership back in the 2016-17 season, where they got automatically relegated, as in the Caledonian Thistle. They got relegated, and it was Hibernian FC, newly promoted Hibernian FC, that took their place. And yeah, it was a rocky road that for Inverness, and they've just seemed to fall apart and go down, 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 down. And the manager that's took over, he's tried all he can to try and help them survive, but nothing's happening right now. And I think Inverness are going to go down to League 1 in the playoffs, in my opinion. And I think Callum Davidson's Queen's Park will survive just by winning their last remaining games. Ayr United, I think they'll finish 6th. And Airdrieonians, they'll finish 5th. And Greenock Morton will drop to 7th. And Dunfermline, I actually think Dunfermline will drop a beauty, because I think it'll be Airdrieonians that will try and get into the playoffs. Maybe even Ayr United if lucky. And I think Dunfermline are actually bottle merchants. They can fall a huge amount in the league. So I'm going to say that the playoff contenders will be Partick Thistle, Ayr United, Ayr Drayonians. That's all I'm going to say. Dundee United, they're not coming up. I think they'll remain a Scottish Championship team because, come on, they usually bottle it at this time of the league, their last remaining games. I don't think they've got what it takes to hang on to the title place. I think Wraith Rovers have got more of a better brain cell than Dundee United players, but no offence, but that's just how I see it. And we'll leave it there, guys. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button. Let me know who you think will get promoted. Let me know if 2 teams will get promoted this season, who you'd like to see come up, and who will get relegated. And obviously we do know that Falkirk will be a championship team next season, so that'll be interesting to see what they can do, because I think Falkirk will actually go right up to the top of the league and probably even get into the Scottish Premiership for the first time in 6 years, would you believe? Apart from that, guys, that has been me, Jack C99.